well, pawn to d4. Haven't seen that one too often, but I was gonna say, like, play like the... What the hell? What's happening here? Well, I don't know what this open... We just got started here. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Try to fix this bishop and... F6, huh? F6, you say? Take this one. That was a very quick e5 by the opponent. Oy, oy, oy. What is knight h6? It can't be correct. I guess we'll start with this one. Bishop here certainly looks like a smart move. Go with some checks. Can't be too crazy. Thinking about castling here. I mean, mildly concerning. The other move that actually came to mind was knight g5, and I think that it's gonna work for us here. Let's go for it. We don't want to actually take this rook. I think it's possible, but bishop takes, like, I'm more than happy to take this, basically. Because if he saves the rook, I mean, could work out even better than if he lets us take it. And at least this, you know, we can just like trade the queen and there's no danger in the position. So yeah, we could castle here, but I just think this check, followed by trading the queens, keeps things nice and easy. And I do think we can actually win even more material. I would just take, even if bishop d2, he couldn't take it back. And we end up a clean rook here. Always have to, you know, play this check just in case he goes forward, make our job a little bit easier. We have two pieces. Don't let him infiltrate. Yep, at some point you get convinced, you gotta give it up. GG. But what happened here? I feel like it was a blur. We just like got started and boom, the guy was handing me a pawn here out of nowhere. I realized, because I've been autopiloting these moves, that I haven't seen this move since like low 500-600s. It used to be the move we see all the time, and I was playing b3 against it. Now, it kind of turns into the same stuff, but got a slightly different position. Either way, definitely not good for our opponent. Okay. Oh, hang on, guys. I warned everyone. Don't be playing e5 against me. Don't be doing it. Bad things happen to you when you try to play e5 against me. Like I said, don't play e5 against me. I'll hurt you. I will. That was like a 5-move game or something. Is anyone rated 1200 in the chat right now? Like, do we have 1200s here? You're 1200? 1200chess.com? Okay, perfect. Now, since I know that the 1200s convene every evening, could you please relay a message to your people? Stop playing e5 against d4. You're not ready yet. So, yeah, if you could take that message back to your people, I'd appreciate it. Okay, well, we definitely start with d4 in this series, and then with the knight, the pawn, fianchetto, and we have to kind of wait and see what setup our opponent is doing here. I'm not 100% sure. Now, because I see the move e6, it's possible we see d5. I don't think d5 is likely, so I don't want to set up my pieces like this. I'm going to play bishop here, and I think this is going to be like a c4, knight c3 game, but not 100% sure. If we play c4, yes, he can play d5, so I'm still kind of like still curious what move we want to do. So let's make a reasonably useful move, and okay, now it's become clear exactly what the setup is. It goes there. I feel like it's time for e4. Taking actually makes a bunch of sense as well. What should we do? Yeah, take e4. I think we go e4 on this one. g5 can't happen. Goes e5. Takes and knight d5 should be decent, I think. Yeah, takes e5. Takes e4. Knight into the center. I would love to trade, but I actually don't think that I can. But in general, e takes looks good. We can also take this way. I like it less, but it's possible e4 is a very good move here. So I think we might need to do it. Oh, okay. Of course, he pre-moves. Hit us with the pre-move, why don't you? We have a threat. It'll definitely get defended. It will not get defended. That's unfortunate. That's just going to be the end of the game there. Another important reminder, when your opponent's fianchettoing like that, for the most part, bishop e2, c4, knight c3 becomes your plan, not bishop d3, knight d2, which is standard for pretty much every other position. Oh, this is perfect. This is a... Take a free piece there. Well, we should probably keep the bishop lined up, of course. Surely at some point he'll... Well, at some point, right? This is another satisfying move because I think after this, it's very unlikely that the guy's going to trade rooks here. I mean, the longer he thinks, the more I'm like, okay, he's definitely trading rooks now. He has to. Otherwise, he's just going down with the ship. GG. Hope you're enjoying this particular series right here. I like this opening. It's always been a annoying one. Yeah, if the guy's fianchettoed, I don't like to do this. Because look, if I start playing like this, the guy plays d6, and it's kind of like, well, I can't really continue the game the way I normally want to. So I think it's a little nicer to just go here, or what do we do in the game? Here we go. And just play a game more focused on the center that you're going to have a better time in compared to your opponent there. Let's go d4. Knight f3. e3. And now h6. What the hell? I think b3 makes sense. So rude. Wow, I was just reading his name. What are you guys talking about? Let's bring the bishop out. Okay. Suppose h3 makes some sense. Definitely gonna put this pawn up here. Okay, well, here we go. Haven't seen a position like this too often. In this particular case, I'm seeing h6, a lot of weaknesses on the light squares. I definitely really like the move g4. Certainly more of an advanced move, but really powerful idea. If he takes, we can jump straight into the center, and we're actually pinning the pawn to the bishop. Now we can jump in with the knight. It feels like we're gaining a lot of time here. When the bishop moves, we can take, open up our queen. Again, just everything working here. So he actually plays in a way where it feels like that's a huge achievement for us, right? The king's gonna have to move. Like, obviously that has to be good, right? So what comes next now? A rook on the g file definitely looks reasonable. I feel like taking this first makes good sense. Question is, do we include this right away? I think it's sensible to, I mean, we're definitely playing on the open file here. Okay, he goes bishop there. It's a little bit of a surprising move. Let's start with this. We don't win the bishop or anything, but he can't play g6, which is, well, yeah, I mean, that's why we played rook g1. So we should be able to come away with something pretty good here. Is it going to be this check? Like, everything kind of looks good. Yeah, I think this one makes sense. There's also queen e5 to keep in mind, but yeah, I like this, followed by rook g6, and I just don't know how you're getting out of this one. Spoiler alert, you're not. Maybe we can throw a check in. This is also pinned now. Queen c8. Definitely the most annoying move on the board. I credit myself for playing it. Most annoying move, and it's not close. Let's go here. And we got a rook coming down. Checkmate. GG, and hopefully we get another look at this opening that we're trying to teach here. The Colle Zukertort. b3, bishop b2. I mean, the setup is basically exactly like this. Chose a different way to get there. Went for this. It is possible that you could take and then take, and yeah, we wouldn't get a knight there, but we have a great position with 2 bishops, even some pressure if he castles, e4, f4, f5, lots of good play here. He goes f5. Amazingly strong move is g4. If he takes knight e5, like, I mean, you're just, the guy's hurting here. We can also throw in like bishop takes and then knight e5. We can also take here and then just take in the center. This h6 move means there's some big problems on this diagonal. We decided to take, rook g1, queen h5, and at this point, it's just over. Everything's falling. I do think queen c8 is particularly nasty, and then a checkmate at the end. Pretty nice, 12:59. To the next game. We don't always get good examples in this series because when we're playing black and our opponent plays e4, we don't learn the most from those. But when we have the white pieces, it's always an important game to pay attention to. And then with black against d4, it's pretty important as well. So let's continue with what we have been doing. Trying to learn the Zukertort. Ugh. Okay, well, we really got to lock in and win these games. That's crazy to look at. All right, let's go here. Knight there. Okay, definitely looking at b3. And here, I think we could get in the business of knight b4. So let's play a3. And remember, we still bring the bishop out to challenge this. Okay, and that queen move is a pretty good prompt for this. Like, bring the knight into the center, why not? Okay, it takes. Sure. And would you look at that? Knight to the side of the board is no good. I can't believe that's no good. It's on the side of the board where it's known to be good. Let's bring the knight over. Knight d4 maybe gets a trade in. Knight g5 could also be good. He stops that move. I think that this move was the better one, let's say. Could take with either one of these. I'll probably take with the bishop here. Queen needs to move. Let's get out of there. And he's launching some form of an attack here. I will do the same. Aimed at the king, maybe queen c4 next. Well, that was not a very difficult game, guys. This opening, it's that simple. We know what our setup wants to look like early. Don't let this bishop throw you off. You still put your bishop there. If they take, you can take back. But the bonus is that even if you take with the pawn, it's still great position. Your pawn covers e4, you still get your knight in. All the same exact plans. And okay, if he puts the queen there, it's going to be like a normal moment to bring the knight in. But like I said, I wouldn't have any problem playing this. If your opponent takes, this is fine for you. You can still bring the knight in next. Still play f4 next. So it still works really well. That's the great thing about the bishop. It's like, I don't need to take it with the queen. I can take it with the pawn. It's all good. We get a nice win up to 1275. Okay, knight there, which means maybe we could turn this like a little bit more into a d5 type of position. Let's see. Hang on a sec. Is this an enjoyer? This might be an enjoyer. A Philidor. One of us. One of us. A4. Okay. Scaring me there, bud. What's A4 all about? What's A5 all about? This guy knows something that I don't. I mean, B5, I definitely think is the move that makes the most sense. Like, obviously taking, sure, but B5 is a nice solid structure, and we can play knight C6 next, try to take it just normally. We know where our pieces want to go. They've pretty much gone to the same squares every time. B3, interesting. I'm trying to figure out if this move is trying to play like bishop A3. Like, what's he planning with that? Oh, he's planning a crazy move, an insane move. All right. Well, I definitely like opening up the bishop, so I feel like I'll start with that, just kind of as like a guarantee. Take this one, and then we got weak pawn here, weak pawn here. You know, there's pawns to take for us. Okay, I can take this one with a check. Probably need knight back. This move keeps the pieces there. Bishop takes here, however, might be a little bit better. This is going to make it pretty hard for him to castle. Now, rook here, queen h2, I feel like is possibly a little bit greedy. I don't think we need all that. Let's just bring this bishop back somewhere in the center and go from here. Okay, need to move this queen here. Keep the pin, hit the pawn, seems reasonable. Also, queen here does not make a threat on a8, and for some reason, I'm feeling like it's possible that he thinks it does. Now, this move allows rook takes g7, but what can I say? Like, I need to get developed here, right? So I feel like we need to go for that. I got queen takes h2 next. I'm also hitting the rook, so it's very likely he's going to play this move, of course. This check looks very strong. Queen takes, queen f2 is not as lethal. Okay, knight there. So the king is ready to escape this way to d2. That makes a ton of sense. Let's see, queen f2 now makes a little bit more sense. Still wondering if there are any threats here, because the greedy guy in me is saying, well, wait a minute, like, can we make a threat? And maybe the bishop's so far away that now queen a8 will be played. He forgot about it. Again, this move does make a lot of sense. We can go here. We can also sneak the queen in a little further. This looks correct. Check. You don't want to go there, so you play this move, but then I think we have this, and it can kind of force you to go where we want you to go. hopefully this is enough here. We have maybe one check to deal with and run our king over. King on a light square. Happens to guard my bishop, but if the guy has a dark squared bishop, you shouldn't launch any pre-moves or any speed before putting your king on the opposite color. GG. Yet another... I mean, he started as a Philidor enjoyer. I was like, oh, okay, hang on a sec. But then he quickly played a couple moves that changed the position entirely. All right, we're up against Radman. Well, we'll definitely play d4, followed by the knight, followed by the pawn. We see knight to c6. So I think we'll go with b3 here. Bishop to b2. And definitely a3. Don't need to deal with that. And yeah, probably this bishop will come out to d3 next. Castle, knight d2, maybe knight e5. That is a very interesting move. Trying to understand it fully. I think I'll castle for now. Usually you see a knight there, so just getting used to the bishop on e4. Well, I think we don't have a choice here. Gotta play f4. We don't have very good control over this square, but we got a strong knight in the center. You win some, you lose some, don't you? Okay, let's just go knight here. If takes, I think we take back with a pawn. If takes, I think we take back with a pawn. Yes, we're gonna get some pretty nasty pawns there, but I actually don't mind them. The pawn stops the knight, this pawn supports, and we're gonna have an open c-file in that case. So yeah, definitely take that back. H5. Okay, queen here definitely makes the most sense because now we're really threatening to win a pawn, so this is going to need a reaction from the opponent. Honestly, if he takes, I might voluntarily take with the pawn. So much so that he's not even going to entertain it. Bishop back to f5, interesting move. So our opponent's castled the opposite side, so we don't really have like a king side attack to speak of here. So unfortunately we do need to kind of workshop a smart way to attack here. c4 feels like the correct move. It's like hard to do something other than that, so I don't really know what the answer is, but c4 feels like the type of move you can play and it'll probably be right, you know? If we take, then maybe this can be thrown in. If we take, then throw this in. That looks very tough to deal with. Yeah, this might spell disaster for black. All because of this strong knight. He could never take it. It dominated the whole position pretty much. And if we take here, I'm definitely looking at bishop c5. So yeah, taking with this feels a bit better. Plus we have rook to c1 coming. And that's a queen for us. Plus down the line, we're just going to have h3 as a nice move to hit the knight. I see the vision. If we take, I think he wants bishop c5, but we can take this with a check and then take this and we're up quite a lot here. So unfortunately, this bishop check is only a bishop check and nothing more. But yeah, he's also missing quite a lot of material here. So let's bring this knight. H3 looks like a move we want to get on the books immediately. Okay, and there it is. I would say E6 next, kind of gets our queen involved, speeds things up. That is a pin, which means that should be a rook, which means that should be a win. And good game to Radman. Well played, and of course, we're not quite there, are we? Not quite there. 12.99. We're gonna need to do it again. One more. This was a pretty interesting game. Opponent played a pretty good system, right? Got the bishop out before playing e6 and had c5 and played bishop and queen to really pressure the e5 square. So overall, definitely looked like a pretty successful situation, but yeah, this was unbeatable. We got our attack going much faster, and it's important to realize with the queenside castle, c4 is much more of a viable move, but with kingside castle, I'd probably never consider it because I don't need to open the position. I'm attacking the king. Here, I actually do. All right, Dio 31. Let's go d4, knight f3, and of course e3, and that move right there pretty much tells me all that I need to know about this game. Okay, yeah. Anyway, point is, we don't play this. This is definitely going to be a bishop e2 and castle type of game. With c4, with knight c3. There we go. Okay, d5 is really, really weird here. Just gonna take it. We actually get to play our whole idea if we want to here. Like, it hasn't really been stopped. So that's kind of why I think that this is a strange continuation. We also have e4. So yeah, I'm thinking we just enjoy the center here with pawn to e4. Knight f4 can drop our bishop back pretty nicely, I would say. That trade doesn't look like it helps. Knight b5 doesn't do much against this queen right now. So I think we're gonna leave that one. d5 on the other hand, there's some real ideas with that move. Yeah, d5 opens things up. I mean, I feel like I'm ready to handle a move like d5, and maybe my opponent isn't. And wow, this move, once again, just so provocative. Knight takes d5, queen d6. I deserve a variation that works there. Am I not going to get it? That's crazy. I mean, we have to play it, but what exactly is the follow-up? Well, okay. We got one that worked. I don't know that it was forced, but obviously this is completely winning. King h8. Perfect. This is one of those moments I feel like where, you know, you're kind of sitting on queen d2 and you know that it's checkmate, but I think you play rook takes c8 so that inevitably the guy takes back. Oh, not with the knight? What? This guy hung a rook. The problem is I need knight takes so that my knight is hanging. Because if my knight is hanging, it's a bit more obvious. It's like, oh shit, take his knight. But in that moment, nothing was being threatened. So I felt like just playing queen d2 is like, okay, too obvious. In the end, obvious worked. At least against this guy. GG. And that is 1300. They never see the bishop. They never see the bishop. We're up to 1300 using the Zukertort effectively.
Thank you for making it to the end of another episode of the Colle Zukertort speedrun. It's definitely one of the easiest attacking weapons to learn in chess, so I hope that this series is making it easier to understand. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and turn on post notifications so you do not miss our next episode.